Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other topics, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just
speaking into the void?
But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast. Today, well, with Kevin and Chuck, right? Because you were like, well, who are these guys?
What happened?
Right? So first off, little show stuff. Make sure, like, subscribe. Those things matter. You know, you want to make sure you never miss a thing. All right, so let's just jump into it. Today, we're going to talk about con men. And, you know, everyone's always worried kind of getting scammed, or I am. I mean, maybe not worried, but aware of it. And Kevin, you know, he came and said, hey, let's talk about con men. You know, there's a lot out there people need to be aware of and things going on in the world. Maybe there's a way to protect ourselves. And I said, excellent. I love talking about politicians, and this will be great. You know, I love talking about politics, and you never let me. So now is my chance. The big thing, they always say that you want to lure people in with something sexy and exciting and, you know, something too good to be true, because then you get up in that like white heat, like Napoleon Hill, or, you know, where you're like, yeah, I need that. And it's just so exciting. Like when you see that new sexy car out there, or whatever it is. So they say the best way to win men over is with the promise of sex, right? I mean, that's really what men want. So obviously you become a politician for wealth and power, which in turn would get you sex.
Absolutely.
I know for women, you're like, well, what do women want? Women want beauty. So that's the way you promise them beauty, because they don't care about sex, really. I know what you think your wife told you and everything, but they don't. That's not really a thing. It's more they want beauty and to feel appreciated and that kind of thing. And so in order to get beauty, you're like, well, then why would a woman ever be in politics? And then you're like, well, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, AOC. And I'm not sure it's working out. I don't really know what's happening there. Maybe they can have more money to try and work towards beauty.
Yeah, well, I did see an old clip of Nancy Pelosi when she was a young lady. It was an old picture, and it was her talking to JFK, and JFK was just ogling them big titties.
No.
So, I mean, it was JFK. So, I mean, of course, that's what you would expect, but...
This is an ugly world we live in, Kevin. Actually, I think you had something maybe slightly different in mind. So what kind of cons are out there? Like, what should we even be worried about? I mean, obviously, I feel like politicians, they do kind of promise one thing on the election trail, and what we get is never really what they
and you always see they're really good at it. You know what I mean? They're good at like mirroring, you know, it's where you kind of take on the other person's you know, looks and vibes and kind of reflect it back to them, you know, makes them kind of trusted. If you look at Bill Clinton, when he was giving speeches to like groups of elderly people, he had gray hair. Right? When he was talking to middle-aged groups, it was brown. And then it was blonde when he was talking to the youngsters. You know, when he was on TV playing that saxophone, he had blonde hair.
And then like Hillary, same thing with her. I ain't no way tired. Her whole that they say the accents change,
The
way you
accents.
talk.
Yep.
It all comes along, and same thing. Obama and them. Remember, they were very anti-gay marriage when Obama campaigned the first time,
Yep.
and because it was politically expedient, right? But
Right.
we don't just want to talk about politics. What type of scams? What kind
Well,
of cons are out there?
well, that kind of leads into the imposter scam,
Mm,
right? So this is where somebody's like kind of giving you a false identity. One of the big ones is people get phone calls from like the government or the IRS,
or a
like
Saudi
you owe a
prince?
lot of back taxes.
Oh no, that's
Yeah, I mean the Saudi prince is another one. But basically, they're implying there's somebody that they're not, right? And kind of give them an air of authority. I got a call a few weeks ago from a guy that had a really thick Indian accent, and he told me he was from he said I was having problems with my naturalization papers.
Who hasn't seen that?
I was the one that wasn't a citizen, and I had to get this straightened out.
That's good. He was going to help you.
Let me get to it. I'm going to go to work on this guy. And then I ended up getting another phone call and I accidentally hung up on him. But
I feel like that is too broad of a hit, though, for him. Like, you can't just randomly call people, especially with a pretty American sounding name. I don't know. It seems like a stretch.
Yeah.
But, if you were like Juan Valdez, that might be the trick. Some of you youngsters don't know who Juan Valdez is, but yeah, no, that's absolutely. So one of the scams that comes to mind when you talk about, an imposter scam, there is a guy, Mr. Lustig, who actually sold the Eiffel Tower. I mean, that's a pretty good scam. That was back in the 20s. And he posed as a French politician, a French government official, right? And he went to all the scrap metal dealers in France and he said, look, we're going to be dismantling this thing and selling it off for parts due to high maintenance costs. Because it's a lot to keep that big tower, a lot of light bulbs. There's a lot of things going on. And
it's just nonstop with this thing.
We just got to get rid of it. So due to the high maintenance, he auctioned it off to the highest bidder, which that's a good way. Because how do you get somebody to, shell out money until they get a physical product, But when you do an auction, I see that, you're like, well, I got to be the guy. I got to come in and win. And, you got to tell people, look, you got to put up the money because if you're not serious, how am I going to give it to you? And then so he ended up, somebody actually bought it and he ended up, the buyer realized it was a hoax, but was too embarrassed to report it. And well, I mean, obviously you realize it's a hoax when you show up and they're like, whoa, what are you doing? You can't just start up.
Show up with a bunch of
got some cutting torches grinders, ready to go, right? And they're like, yeah. So and then here's where it gets cool. The guy's like, let me do it again.
Right, because you didn't report it.
Yeah, he didn't report it. So they were like, oh, he fell out. Let's, So the idea, I think the takeaway is don't let the greed cloud your judgment. And it's always the like once in a lifetime deals.
Right.
That's a big thing you always see. And that's where I go back to that like Saudi prince thing. They're like, hey, I just need to park the money in your bank account. You need to set things up. But I am so strapped there watching every move I make right now. And you need to I need like 2,000 to work out the like lawyer fees and work it out. Just set up the account and then we'll be able to share like 15 million. You don't want to go too crazy. You say 30 million and you're like, really? Is there 30 million? But 15 million, you're like, I could use it.
That's reasonable. That's a more reasonable price.
That sounds like it could work. All right. Give me another one. Yeah.
Another one of the imposter scams is the romance scam.
Oh, I like
romance. And you see a lot, it used to happen a lot where it would be basically pen pals in the 50s, 60s. People would be out in the West looking for a wife to come out.
Mail order
And
bride.
they'd start like answering these ads, and they'd write back and forth and be like, I just need some money to get train tickets and stuff and things like that. You just send me some money.
The Russian girls were always sending me those.
Yes. That it's also called the Russian bride scam because of that.
Yes.
Yep.
I know about her.
And I've seen a couple lately where it was older women that were talking to Keanu Reeves or Brad Pitt.
Oh.
And they were financially strapped. They just needed some help to get things straightened out,
Yeah.
So if you're a dude and you're kind of ugly looking like me,
and it seems a little too good to be true.
Yeah, and you got some skinny, pretty girl with a fat butt is trying to hook up with you.
Bootylicious.
It's a scam.
Because, like I said, that's the easiest way to kind of jump into a man is to lure him with sex. The promise of sex is, that's a high power there.
Another one of them is the family emergency. You see that happens to like grandparents a lot.
Yeah.
Like their grandson, somebody will get their phone and be like, listen, your grandson just got arrested. I've got his phone, or I don't have his phone. Maybe the phones, you just know that they lost their phone. He's in jail. I need to get him, so I can bail him out. I need $8,000 or $7,000.
$8,000. We got to get him out. You can't have his grandbaby in jail.
Yeah, that's my little baby. Grandma's worried, and
Grandma would
sends out that money
for the babies.
Yeah, and then grandson ends up calling him like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so you want to kind of verify. You want to like go to the source, right? So if somebody calls you up and it's like, "Hey, I'm from your credit card company, and I just need whatever," say, "Hang on, I can't talk to you," and then call your bank if you're really worried about it. But like with the phone number you have, don't get the phone number.
Don't use their phone number
or the website link that they have. That's probably not the one you want to use.
Yeah, and the IRS, they're not going to call you on the phone.
They don't even care about you. They're going to come to the door with a shotgun. Well, I think it's an AR.
They'll mail you a letter first. You know what I mean? And mail fraud is a much bigger deal than calling somebody on the phone and just trying to bluff their way through things. I know a couple of people got phone calls from the electric company.
Oh,
their power is about to be shut off.
It's urgent, Kevin.
Yeah, it's urgent. It's emergency.
Tonight.
Yeah, we're coming. They're sending somebody out right now. But we can get this settled. We can get this straightened out.
How much could I send you right now, Kevin, that would stop this from happening?
And you'll see that a lot though in all these scams is like it's an emergency. Like there's like this has to be done right now. So anytime somebody gives you some of that shit, like it's probably a scam.
Right. I always you get the calls like, oh, the magistrate's going to come looking out for you. And I'm like, this is America. We don't really use magistrate. And then now I'm seeing legal documents and we do use the word magistrate. And I'm just an idiot, but they were too sophisticated for me. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I look for the ATF guys ready to shoot my dog. It's not,
Yeah, I was thinking I need to get a bulletproof vest for my dog just to be safe.
Smart.
Especially doing this show, man. Any day.
Dog, that's the decoy filled with tannerite.
Right.
Put that out in the yard. So actually, one of the big ones was the Ponzi scheme with Charles Ponzi. So this is, you've all heard the term Ponzi scheme. Back in 1920. He promised investors, again, something too good to be true. He was going to get you a 50% return in 45 days. Now, it was a weird scam. I don't even really understand it myself. It was something about coupons, and he was going to leverage, spending with coupons and getting deals they could get ahead. It was weird. But the bottom line is, he would take the investors' money and pay back the first guys. Like they'd start getting a return. So that way he could lure in more people. And he kept taking the new guys' money and giving it to the first guys. Hence that whole Ponzi scheme that we know of today. So that's definitely, again, that you need to really understand how the money is happening when somebody promises you something too good to be true. You know, you
Right.
can't be like, well, the magic fairy dust. Oh, he has AI software that's just gonna go and make the stock exchange just yield to his will, and it's all
Hmm.
just squirt out new dollar bills, you know?
Yeah.
Make sure
Anybody that
you
tells you that they
understand
can get 20% returns or more, they're probably full of bullshit.
and guarantee it. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
there was that one guy, Bernie Madoff.
Bernie Madoff was really successful doing
He
that, right?
only promised 10 to 12%, but he kind of like guaranteed it. Like he was really like, you're going to get this and
Hmm.
it's going to happen, which to me, 10 to 12%. I mean, right now, you know, I think I'm up like 19% for the year because things are going in the right direction.
Hmm.
Um, in the stock market, I actually have strong suspicions that it may kind of take a turn for the worse in the near future. But
Yeah, I wouldn't be investing every penny I had in the stock market right
like,
now,
you know how gold
but
and silver are climbing way up? There's
yeah.
kind of a reason for that. Now I
Hmm.
understand they're down at, you know, a couple dollars here and there, but they're still on the high end. I
Yeah.
think there's something bad maybe coming. You don't know, but the government's actually been printing money since the shutdown. We've had more of that like quantitative easing. They don't call it that right now, but because, you know, we're Republicans, we don't do QE, but you know, you get the idea. Anyway, so just be careful of the smoke and mirrors. So
Right.
until like in 2008, it kind of all got exposed, but he had like the New York City Fire Department, the NYPD, everybody's pensions were caught up in this whole Bernie Madoff thing. Charities, they did all kinds of. So just never put, well, one way to protect yourself is don't put everything in one basket, right? Like don't put your entire retirement into one thing. And you're like, well, Chuck, that's where the really good deal is. If I'm going to get the most bang for my buck, I should put everything there. But do a couple of scams, maybe some whiskey barrels you
Hmm.
invest in, which I don't even know that they're a scam. It kind of sounds intriguing to me, but it's not what I do. And then a little to Bernie Madoff and a little bit
Hmm.
to, you got to work it around so
Right.
you can get
Spread that
out
scam
in
out a
time.
little bit.
Right. Uh,
All right. So those are investment scams. Let's talk about a couple of other investment scams.
mhm.
Um, we talked about the advanced fee scam. You know what I mean? That's where the Nigerian prince, needs you to send a little bit of money so you can get the big money back, right? And they'll even send you checks that are routed through different countries. So it'll take the bank a couple of days to figure out that there's no money in that check.
Right.
Yeah, they'll accept your check at the bank, and then I just got to send you back the fee, the 15% or something. And then that check, then you are on the hook for all of that.
And then you have fees because you've overextended. It ends bad. There's actually the term con man comes from confidence scam,
Right.
right? Or confidence game. And that's kind of, so there was a guy, William Thompson, that's where it's coming from. In the 19th century, he was a New Yorker, and he's kind of credited with con man, as the coining the term. And it's short for confidence man. He would approach strangers, act like an old acquaintance, and say, have you confidence in me to trust me with your watch until tomorrow? And
Hmm.
many actually handed over valuables and then just never saw him again.
Yeah.
But he's like, my kid's going through something. We're old friends from high school. And so the pro tip is you want to build trust slowly. Like you don't want to rush into, you know, just because, I mean, in a way, the one that Kevin was talking about earlier, where like the grandkids are calling up, grandma, in a way, that's the same type of thing. I mean, I know it's that misdirection, but well, because of AI, I hear my granddaughter's voice on the phone. Gramps, can you help me? And that kind of thing. And immediately your compassion just overrides or the fear. Um, Kevin mentioned checks. It was actually Frank Abagnale was that movie Catch Me If You Can, where again the same thing. The guy would impersonate a pilot, a doctor, a lawyer to gain that confidence of, hey, I have these checks to cash.
Right.
And you're like, oh, well, he's a doctor. A doctor
Right.
would not, I knew somebody once, well, I'm renting my apartment to a doctor, so I know he's going to pay the rent. I don't even
Right.
need to worry about the background check and how slimy this guy. He's a doctor. You couldn't
He's a
be
doctor.
a doctor if you weren't a good guy. And then maybe that's not the case. Maybe the whole thing is a lie, right? So that's kind of where you can build up. What one of the guys, Slow, actually said, the best way to not get conned by people is to not have any friends. Then you don't have to worry about them asking you for money.
Right.
See? Stay in the woods. Don't talk to people. I see where you're going. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. One of the big ones that's been going around lately is debt relief. You'll hear commercials and stuff about it, but sometimes people will just call you up and be like, we're offering this one-time deal. We know you have, $20,000 in credit card debt.
Right.
So we can consolidate that. Obviously there's processing fees and stuff like that. They already know you're bad with money because you have all that debt. So they already know that you're a sucker.
Right.
So that's a big one is cold calls. You'll see these a lot. Like I get these, I got on some sort of list where I just get calls nonstop. Now I had to finally change my phone over so that it didn't even ring. If you're not in my phone book, that it just goes straight to voicemail, and then I block that call if you don't have a message that
right.
seems
If there's
reasonable.
no message, you don't. Yeah. No, I like it. That's one of the things. And I always remember they take advantage of people in desperate situations. And I kind of feel like that's where you were going with the, the debt consolidation, right? So one of the biggest, easiest marks is play on the military, right? They love those guys. The young kids, fresh away from mom and dad. I guess college kids would be the same, but it's kind of like they're coming from real money and maybe smarter investment skills at college. But now I guess everybody's in college. It doesn't really matter if they had good parents or choices or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, but I know
is the
military, because you're broke. You're broke all the time, and they will sell you a car and they know you'll end up paying it. You know what I mean?
Because the military used to make you pay it. And maybe they still do. I don't really know. But I know when I was in Norfolk, they actually had a list of car dealers that you weren't allowed to go to because they were so predatory. And they would be 23, 25% interest because you'd have no credit when you're 17, 18, 18, 19, whatever. And you'd go in and they'd be like, you want that new Mustang? I got you.
We can set you up with payments that you can afford.
I only make $20,000 a month.
Right.
A year, $20,000 a year. And they're like, don't worry about it. I got you. You could get this new Mustang. You could drive it off the lot today.
Right.
You got $1,000. Just give me that $1,000.
And we'll set you up with a payment plan that you can afford. And you're going to be paying for that Mustang for the next 60 years.
I think it's realistic that you have a $500 a month payment, and for 16 years, how many years did you want to go with? Right. So we'll stretch it out and make it reasonable. And then, so by month 2 or 3, because you're like, well, my whole life's going to change if I get that car.
Right.
I'm kicking ass. Right. Then as soon as you can't make those payments, they're like, to one, I'm going to charge that debt against you for forever. Right. 2, I'm going to repo the car and sell it to the next kid who's in my office. And I already got whatever down payment you could give me. And that's already in my bank account. You ain't never getting that back.
Right.
And and that bad judgment against you, you're going to have to work to pay it off or find some way to get back, some money to me. So,
Mhm.
That's a good way to do it.
One of the newer ones that has it's been around a lot is the work from home scams.
Oh, I like working from home.
Yeah, so
I hate people, so that
right.
works for me, right?
Right. And a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are, like married, say, and have, gang kids. Wife can't really go to work. She has to be at home.
Daycare,
and they can set you up, right? So you just have to pay for some training. You have to pay for the equipment that you need. And then there's no job. You just paid for training that you didn't, it isn't useful for anybody, and now you have nothing but you already paid out, A lot of these scams work as like you're gonna make a lot of money. There's just
I would like a lot of money.
It's upfront costs, and that's anytime somebody has one of those upfront costs, really think twice about it,
Right.
One of the ones that's been going around also is a online shopping scam where people will set up fake websites, and they'll sell you all sorts of good stuff with great deals, and then nothing ever shows up. What are you gonna do about it? Do you remember the Extends commercial?
No, I don't recall it.
It was a pill that supposedly made your wiener bigger.
Oh, it extends.
Extends. Yeah, that was the
I see
thing.
where you're going there.
So what happened was they'd give you a free trial. You get a 30-day free trial. You had to give them your credit card money or your credit card payment. But then they would charge you for that free trial. And then you call back and be like, oh, dude, it was supposed to be a free trial. And be like, oh, sorry, made a mistake, but we'll give you this next month free.
But at least did my wiener get bigger?
Well, here's the thing. When they did end up going to court over this. There's a lot more to the story. But some people said yes. Some people are like, I took the pill and now it's bigger. So I mean, if you just can convince people and be like, dude, it's at least a quarter inch bigger, right? Like you got something out of it. You just got to keep taking the pills, man. You got to do it every day for, if you miss a day, you're going to set you all the way back.
I always go for the ones that like it takes 90 days to get there. So you at least got 3 hits out of me,
Right. But so what was happening was people would call their credit card company and complain. And if you have if your business has so many hits on credit card payments as being marked as fraudulent, a certain percentage, they're going to pull their cards from you. So what they were doing was taking these $30 payments and $30 payments. They were dividing them into 30 separate payments. So you'd call and complain. It'd only be one complaint for these 30 charges. So they were able to get away with it for years and years. And I don't think they ever made anyone's wieners bigger.
Oh, so sad. But that's the thing. Like, you just have to change your name. Like, you file and become a new company. Oh, that one didn't work. We're starting to get a bad rap. People know the info on that one. So now I'm going to be Company Z, and then now I'm totally different. But I don't know the right answer, but that's somebody else was talking about the, hey, do a big tour on your property on, for the internet. And you go and you show, oh, this is my fancy tractor and my fancy airplane I keep in the back. This is where all my 4-wheelers and side-by-sides are. And then people are like, all right, tell me more. Where do you live?
What's your address?
You got to be careful of that stuff. I mean, that's I'll still do some like really focused things and try and do for the YouTube channel. But that's one of the things is you really put yourself out there.
Could do a little bit of a tour on some of our stuff. I don't think that'd be a bad idea.
Well, the trick is to live in the middle of nowhere where it would cost more to come rob me than,
That's it.
Than anything you're going to get. That's the secret of the pros right there. But yeah, there's always somebody out. And that's the same thing, right? Like politicians, right? Man, they they seem to have the racket. They really do. As far as they
Yeah.
can
I think a big
calculate.
part of it is like you just have to be charismatic. I remember going to talking to a mayor one
Mhm.
time, and I was what was the situation? I don't remember. A friend brought me there to talk to the mayor, and man, I got done talking, and I was like, wow, like I
I want to
really
go on.
feel good about myself. This is gonna work out. And then I
Right.
never heard from the motherfucker again.
Yeah,
But I
it's
mean, that's
okay.
just you feel good when you talk to them. You know what I mean? They make you feel good about yourself, and that's a big thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, my mayor, definitely a feel good guy. I like
Hmm.
him. He's great. But he's the real one, Kevin.
Oh, okay, right.
I don't really know. I think everybody believes that, but that's the thing. You don't know. But he is, man. You talk to that guy, I'm like, yes, you know. And he's like, hey, can you come over and do some free work on my house? And I'm like, yes, I will.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
You're a good guy.
You know what? You guys want to borrow my tractor till tomorrow? Go right ahead. Just take it.
Hmm.
Let me gas it up.
I'll fill it up for you.
Fill it up for you. Because, I just want to help out. You're just a good guy. I look at that smile. It's like talking to Bill Clinton. You're just
Hmm.
like, yeah, I like that guy. That
Right.
guy's pretty slick, man. You can't tell me. I mean, even, as much as people love or hate him, Reagan was very disarming. They always talk about Bill Clinton as being the slick, kind of ease into you, making you feel good. But Reagan
Yeah.
had a way, man, with his disarming jokes and whatever.
Yep.
He had a way.
He was a funny guy, and I think that goes a long way. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like he had a lot of the deprecating jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of putting himself down in a funny way, and then you're like, oh, this is a regular dude.
He's like me.
Just
He's a
like me.
regular dude. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I like it. That's the trick though. And that's what you got to be careful of is, is it too good to be true? Right. So like, think of it. I mean, here I can slam both parties in the same story, but you had Obamacare come out and they were like, everyone's going to have free health care. It's going to get cheaper. It's going to be great. And it's called the Affordable Care Act. So
Yeah.
everything is going to be affordable,
It's
right?
going to be affordable now.
There's no con there. And then
My
all of a
health
sudden,
insurance didn't
right,
went through the roof, I guess. But I mean,
everybody's health insurance, but it was just you, Kevin. You were the
yeah,
only
everybody
one.
else, it was better for everybody
It
else.
was better. And Kevin, you have to make some sacrifices
Uh-huh.
for, the other guys, the guys who are a little bit less fortunate than you. Like,
Mhm.
the ones in Washington, those guys have it hard. So, and you noticed that was one of the tricks, though, was Congress wasn't going to be subject to the Affordable Care Act.
Right. They had their own health
They
care.
were
It was
excluded,
fantastic.
right? And it was excluded from any of the provisions. And
Mhm.
you're like, well, that's kind of weird. If it's so good, why would they not? But then, all right, so I said I would kind of talk about both parties on this one. Then the Republicans, they said, if you elect us, if you gave us the House, the Senate, and the White House,
Mhm.
then we'll get rid of the Affordable Care Act because we know you don't want it. We hear you. We're going to help you. And then they won the White House, they won the Senate, and they won the House. And then they were like, yeah, we kind of like all the money and all the rich drug companies and everybody are like, yeah, keep it. It's
Keep
good.
it. Keep it. Yeah. No, there's a lot of people that were standing to make a lot of money with that sort of thing, and they can't just get rid of it. And I remember Republicans, they keep saying like, "Oh, we've got a plan." I mean,
Yeah.
we're still working it out. It's a secret. We can't tell you about it, but we
Really
definitely
good.
have a plan. It's super good. Yeah. And now, well, turns out it's the same exact plan.
Well, that was always, Pelosi was, well, we got to pass it to find out what's in it.
Right.
That's
right.
how secret it is. It's that good. Like,
yeah.
I'm not even going to read it until we pass it because it's
Right.
that good.
We'll find out when it starts applying to us. I mean, you, not me.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
you.
by us, I mean you.
Yeah.
And that's so that was always the trick. And it happens over and over again, the Patriot Act, right? Oh, that's going to help your freedom. But it seems every politician, and you get like the guys who you're like, I'm sure this is a good guy. I've known him forever. He's in our community. He's been our local, whatever. And then you elect him to office. And sure enough, a little bit later, he's like, yeah, I heard about this Epstein client list, and I don't think that I'm going to vote that way anymore because I had a change of heart, after I talked to my friends here, because I didn't really understand how the world worked until I got to Washington. And now I see that
Yeah.
you're
So
just dumb and I should do
whatever I want to do. Yeah. Whatever makes me money. Because there's like a lot of people that will invest a lot of money to make sure their bills get passed the way they want them to be passed. You know what I mean? And they will help you get reelected if you help them.
right.
And then you can stay in power. And for some reason, that is like to a senator or congressman. Ooh, I got to stay doing this. I got to stay doing this for 35 years. Seriously, bro.
Kevin, if I made your dreams come true, I wouldn't have been able to win to help you more.
Right.
So, I had to let that one go. So next time, but that's the thing. So
let's talk about some red flags real quick with these scams. Unsolicited contact, they came to you. Like, you didn't contact anybody looking for something. They came to you to offer you something.
Yeah.
Right. Pressure to act immediately. Like, this is an emergency. You got to get to it. A lot of car salesmen do this. You know what I mean?
A lot
like
of politicians.
Somebody else is looking at this same vehicle and they were wanting to buy it.
Right.
You got to get it now. Requests for specific payment methods. You'll see a lot with over at my Dollar General I was at the other day, and they had a bunch of signs hanging up not to buy gift cards as payments for stuff. I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess that's a big scam. Don't ever try and pay somebody with a gift card, because that's bullshit, apparently. Guaranteed outcomes. You know what I mean? It's not a risky investment. This is a guaranteed home run. You're going to make money on this. I guarantee it. All we have to do is just get started. I need a little bit of startup money.
Little startup seed money, Kevin.
That's it. Request for sensitive personal information. You'll see a lot of those with like old folks. Need your social security number and your bank account number. And then if those numbers match, you're going to win the lottery, dude. You're going to win.
Oh, let me tell you.
Raffle, dude.
Check.
Let's send me.
Check mine.
We'll make sure that you fit into the right category with the right social.
I got to say, I went to my bank the other day. I wanted to add the wife to the account. And so we go in and they take all her information, her license, her social and stuff, all this stuff. But they never asked for mine. And they put her on the account. And I'm like, you never saw my license or asked for mine. But now she can spend money and do. And I'm like,
so maybe you should take her in and put her on somebody else's account too.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, and I kept telling myself, I'm like, well, maybe I used to date this girl in high school and she recognizes me, or
she just knows. Yeah.
Because again, it's that implied confidence. You don't like, oh, trust me. I work in a bank. I mean,
right.
Come on. I'm a little worried because I got to tell you, I called the app wasn't working, and I called yesterday and they asked everything in the book. And I'm like, well, I wish you would have been that thorough when you added somebody to my account without any, Oh, it's a crazy world, Kevin. I don't know. I just say, so give us some quick rundown of what we can do to avoid scams. Do you have a little list there of some sort that, we could, what should I be doing to make sure I'm not the sucker?
Yeah. Well, don't ever give anybody money over the phone, for one, because that's a big one lately is the phone shit, right? Somebody calls you and, they want to fix a problem for you that you didn't know you had.
Right.
Bullshit. If somebody contacts you online and says, such and such, catfishing is a big one. You know what I mean? Like, you're lonely. You're a lonely dude and you're looking for love, and somebody is starting to pay attention to you and they really care about you as a person, They don't. Nobody likes you. You're trash. You're a garbage person. Nobody cares about you. Don't believe that bullshit. Doesn't matter how lonely you are. Keep your passwords and all your private information private. Nobody is going to call you up from Google because they need your password to your email or any of that bullshit. Your email will get people a long way. Just your actual email address will get people a long way into your life. Social media is another big place where people will come after you. I get every once in a while, I'll get a beautiful woman on like Facebook or something wanting to be my friend. She doesn't want to be my friend.
No.
She doesn't even look like that. That's some dude sitting in his grandparents' basement and he found a picture somewhere. You know what I mean? It's all bullshit. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. If it's almost too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
I was so close with that one because I thought, well, maybe this one's just almost too good.
And that's another one. People will come up and say, come up to your house and be like, we were doing a project down the road, paving one of your neighbor's driveways, and we have all this extra asphalt. We'll be down. If you can pay me $2,000, I can pave your whole driveway today. And you will never see that dude again.
Yep. No, there's always the Sunbelt tolls or Easy Pass, and you scan that. If you don't, we're gonna suspend your license. Immediate, the fear, the whatever.
Yeah.
Also, if the chick is sending you pictures and she has 6 fingers,
that ain't her.
That ain't her. That ain't her. So I don't know. Just look it out. Look out for things. Don't be so excitable. I would say just be a little slow to jump on things that seem a little too good. That would be the best advice.
And I'd like to say just assume everybody's shitty, but that's a shitty way to live your life.
That is a shitty way to live. But if they are a politician, they are lying.
They are shitty.
I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah. It's, Republican, Democrat, they're lying to you. All right. Let's just assume. All right. So anyway, that's what I got. You have thoughts, concerns, maybe some scams you know about. Put them in the comments. Make sure you guys do like and subscribe. It really helps out, keeps this thing going. But anyway, other thoughts, new show ideas, things you want to hear about, preppingbadass@gmail.com. Otherwise, I would say stay safe, and we will talk to you guys next week.
What I bought? A new Blink Mini 2K Plus smart security camera. What I got? 2K clarity sharp enough to see every detail of home when I'm away. Plus audio like I'm in the room, not with my bestie traveling to another city. Plus easy plug-in setup to install faster than skipping through podcast ads. But you'd never skip ads, right? Plus, I got all of this for just $49.99. Blink Mini 2K Plus. Mini camera, max performance. Shop now at amazon.com/blink.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah?
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Your planet is now marked for death.
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four First Steps is now streaming on Disney+.
We will protect you.
As a family.
Line them up, Johnny!
Marvel's first family is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
That is fantastic.
And critics say it's one of the best superhero movies of all time.
Oh!
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four First Steps, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.
What time is it, Ben?
It's clobber time!